So I'm not sure how much of you opened yesterday the brochure, what was distributed, but there was our, so to say, sentence in it, our motto, blue sky coming, and actually from yesterday to today, I don't want to say that it's blue sky coming, but I don't have the crystal ball, or I'm not really doing weather forecasts, but that's also something what we are living for. And then just introducing the company a bit before I show how we started our shared services, is how where that kind of blue sky coming is originated is as we are pioneering in electric vehicle and then production, and then in this way also delivering a kind of a joyful lifestyle. In China 9 years ago, our founder kind of looked out the window, and then I think if you were in that time in China, when you look out of the window, you don't really see so far. And then I think that's where he also said, okay, we need to do something about it. And then actually he really initiated actions around that one. And then kind of founded our company a little bit longer than 9 years ago. So in this way, we are really a global startup. I mean, 9 years, it's in automotive, it's a model or a half a model sometimes. So really, we still have the startup phase, although we are already having 30,000 employees on a global scale and represented in 50 different locations. And then the way how we started to build the organization was really trying to find always the talents, and then go after the talents and then recruit them where they are. So that's why we are also having some strategic places for instance, vehicle engineering in Oxford, or autonomous driving in San Jose and Berlin, all together with our Chinese headquarters as well. And also within this short time, we also introduced our stocks on stock markets, already on 3. We are on in Hong Kong, New York, and Singapore already. So I think that was really a very fast pace. And that fast pace was also introduced when we actually arrived to Europe. So we entered in Norway because the reception of electric cars was very good already, but we really went further, and then just within the last 2 years we recruited more than 1.2 thousand employees, and then started to sell our cars in the Nordic part of Europe, and then in order to support this whole growth and then kind of penetration to Europe, we also established our shared service center in Hungary. But, you know, it's like 9 years having the global mindset, but we already delivered kind of 500,000 cars and then having 30,000 employees. So I think it's really a balance what we are trying to find whenever we establish any procedures. And then just to quickly show you the cars, I think the design is really iconic. And then we have different models on the market, very well received in the market. We received a lot of design awards, the golden wheels in Europe as well. And then we also introduced last year our first touring car. What was the first touring on the market? And maybe my colleagues from Porsche will argue that, but we believe that was the first one as well. And then the ones who are not owning a private jet, and I'm not sure how many of you do, we just recently introduced our flagship model, what is really bringing the private jet experience, what is really a cutting-edge model on the market, with bringing all the technology in, and also the experience of kind of a jet on the land as well. Last on kind of what we are also doing is we are not just kind of selling cars, but also really focusing on developing our core enablers for that one. So not just manufacturing the car, but also developing really battery pack, electric motor, smart gateway, autonomous driving ourselves in-house. And then I left Nomi, our smart cockpit, our travel companion, to the list. And then we talked a lot about AI and then ChatGPT. And actually, we already use ChatGPT with Nomi, who you can actually communicate during the way and then supports you as well. So we are trying to always go for the latest solutions and then implement that into our procedures as well. Lastly, we are not just kind of focusing on the cars, but also with the user experience. We bring kind of the charging solutions. And then I think also there's currently one on the market is that the battery is detached from the car. We can swap it. So besides charging, we can actually swap the battery. We can upgrade the battery. So nowadays, I think that's a quite challenge of the EV market. And then we really have a good potential in it. Nevertheless, I think it could be really a known business on its own, because if we integrate all this kind of capacity, what we store in batteries, to the grid, what actually we've done now, our last model of the swap stations, then we can really support a grid in high peaks and then get it back on the lower ones as well. So really with this impressive kind of technology, whenever we kind of came into establishing a shared service center, we could really go always for the best one. And then that was what we were really striving for in that time. So a bit more than 1.5 years ago, we started to kind of really the basics. And then I think I've seen all those nice pictures with the empty offices. And this time my colleague was just also saying like, yeah, do you remember that one? And I was like, hell yeah, I do. And we had the coffee machine and then the Wi-Fi as an office, more or less. And but I think from that point, we really focused on finding really the best talents in the market, and then really kickstarting from the beginning to really provide excellent services to our colleagues and also directly to our users as well. So we, and I really believe that our staff in the shared service center are very well trained. They really bring a lot of experience from the market. More than 3 years in average, speaking more than 2 languages, and then they are really engaged to our journey of kind of bringing a new kind of solution and then kind of a change into the world. However, I think by getting the really experienced people in, we were not just focusing on getting them in, but already we started to look into talent programs. I think they were really great presentations in the last days about how talents can be connected, and then we also really believe in it. So we already have 15% on top of these people by interns and different working students and talents who we really work with. We have some programs to really develop our future talent pool, because we really set for growth, and then we really believe that we want to actually achieve more on the markets as well. And then not just taking care about the employees and then developing them, but really our core value is care, is caring about just the users and caring in this way about the employees. And we implemented also some well-being programs, very much focused on health. So really maximized the health care, what we can provide as an employer. We really lived extended flexibility, so home office-wise, working time-wise. We are really supporting employees in their different needs as well. And then if they are, for instance, living a bit further, they don't really come to the office. But certainly we want to kind of bring them back and then also establish a great community. Also in this kind of rapid inflation environment, we had specific programs to support our employees, not just with our communication and then also with our advisors, but also financially directly. We made some initiatives what we believe also this investment is paying out in having a high reputation, great employer branding. What I think is really key for a new entrant to be visible in the market and also be acknowledged by those ones who are working there, because they will bring the best messages outside. So when we started to build the shared services, we directly went for a GBS setup. And then I spoke about the users, and I mentioned it again because they are really bringing the focus from the GBS as well. So first of all, we also established our customer support, who are supporting really our end users directly. So that was really important for us to have it very efficient, and then also enabling all those back office functions as well, from finance, HR, and IT, to really give a very great experience as well. Our kind of advantage was that a lot of companies are arriving to establishing a GBS with a transformation. But we just let the trends behind, and then we went for the formation. What was really great that we really built the GBS together with building up the organization in Europe. So we were part of it. My colleagues were really guiding sometimes our colleagues in different countries how to set up the process. They were part of it, or even leading the process designs. And that was the first one we implemented as well. And in this way, we also created some playbooks. So if we go for another country, when we start selling our cars and our solution in different countries, then we have kind of a best practice what we can utilize to enter them as well. I would like to highlight 3 of our key strengths in that 1 year, if I can say, success story. But I think we also have a way to go, I very much know. First of all, we are really putting service excellency and the holistic and end-to-end experience in our focus, because we believe that when we are building a user enterprise and then kind of striving for user satisfaction, we want to really give a one-in-a-kind of service to our users. So our user journey is really starting from kind of being part of the community, downloading the application, going there, buying the car. But this is where we actually step in from GBS. When they start using it, whenever they have a question, they can reach us out via the application, they can call us, and then even with some really easy questions like how to open the hood, kind of questions about if they have any issues whenever they're charging or battery swapping, we are supporting them directly from the shared service center. And of course, if we need practical support, our service staff is going there. But we really believe that we need to kind of bring this holistic part in it. And then we bring that one not just in those positions who are really in direct connection with our users, but also in finance. And then one of the success story I wanted to share, when we started to sell our cars in Germany, we offered initially a subscription model. But the feedback from our users were that actually they want to own a car, they want to buy it. So we very much reacted very fast, and in just 6 weeks we enabled another model of selling the car, and then our finance team were very much involved in doing this change based on purely user feedback, end user feedback, who are actually driving our cars. We changed our procedures. So this is, I think, really, this is how we live this great flexibility towards our users, and then changing our internal procedures to satisfy them. And lastly, our innovative mindset. So global startup, very fast growth. We very much live, and I fully always nodded with that kind of approach where we find excuses, and then we don't really always ask for approvals for everyone. And we're very much encouraging employees to really take initiatives and try out new things. We have a concept, what we call a VAU concept, what is like, start from our values, our core values, what we want to bring to our users, define your action, and start doing it directly. And if it's not working, then we upgrade it. There is nothing bad about it. You don't need to actually ask for forgiveness. This is how we live. We try. We don't go for the 100% all the time, but we want to be fast and then do it. Really be action-oriented and achieve that goal. And if it's not really good, then we will upgrade it and then try to do it better next time. So I hope you feel that how much I'm excited about the journey of the company, and I think we all do, and I hope that you share that excitement. I think I can talk a lot about the technology, how we change the batteries, what we call the NIO swap and the NIO squad, because a lot of people are just kind of looking below the car while it's happening. I'm very much happy to share a lot of other things, especially about the GBS, what I'm part of and heading up. And I hope that if you found this journey exciting, then you will also select us as a new entrant, the best one in the award as well. So thank you very much for attention.
Thank you, Lars. Thank you very much. You do actually have the video streaming of the battery charge. Outside, the video is streaming all the time of the battery charging. I've got 2 questions only. You're at 50 people more or less now. What would you guess that might be in 2 or 3 years' time? And did you have any advisors helping you get set up in Budapest?
So firstly, that very much depends on the car sales and then how we enter the different markets. As we are doing B2C sales, we are without having dealers, and then we are supporting our users directly in different service, maintenance, and providing additional services. What we have NIO houses, so the community places. We always need to it's a quite big investment to enter a new country. So whenever we enter a new country, we will have a big step in the GBS as well. So we have a very solid strategic commitment from our leadership team that I think GBS is part of the growth. So we won't grow that much locally, but I think all the support functions will be implemented there. So yeah, I hope for the best. And then we had some very challenging goals of having 25 countries to have our cars sold in until the end of 2025. Let's see if we can manage it as well. And then it will if you translate that we are supporting 7 countries now with this 50, then it will accelerate on the same side.
Did you have advisor, someone help you on the advice side getting set up, or you did it yourselves?
So in the beginning, I think in the location selection, and then in the initial planning, we had some support. But also, when I said we went for the best talents, a lot of us were recruited in a way that we were experienced in setting up things. Sure. And myself, I also had 3 HR shared services set up, and then it was the 4th one, so I also could learn from my previous pitfalls and mistakes, and then implement the one what I believe now working the best for the company.
Right. Cool. Thank you very much.